My name is Ariel. I am a learner of English. I want my brain to speak in English. I want my thoughts to flow in simple English words. I know that every day gives me a chance to practice. I know that every moment is a new beginning. I wake up and I decide. Today, my brain will work in English. I start with my morning. I open my eyes. I feel the light of a new day. I stretch and I smile. I say to myself, I am awake. I will think in English. My heart beats with hope. I know that my journey to fluency starts with small steps. I do not fear mistakes. I do not fear pauses. I know that every error is a lesson. I choose to be brave. I choose to be simple. I choose to be honest with my thoughts. I remember when I first tried to think in English. I sat at my desk and I wrote simple sentences. I wrote, I wake up. I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast. My sentences were short and clear. I learned that my mind must learn to use English words directly. I must not wait for my native words to come to me and then translate. I must let English live inside me. I start with the basics. I use the 5 questions: who, what, when, where, why. I ask these questions about every part of my day. I see a man jogging. I think, who is he? I say, he is my neighbor. I ask, what is he doing? I answer, he is jogging. I ask, when does he jog? I answer, he jogs at 6 a.m. I ask, where does he jog? I say, he jogs in the park near his house. I ask, why does he jog? I say, he jogs to stay healthy. I use these simple questions to build my story. My thoughts become clear. I speak with short, clear words. I feel proud of my progress. I go to the kitchen. I see a bowl of fruit on the table. I think, what is in the bowl? I see apples, bananas, and grapes. I say, the bowl has fruit. I feel a smile on my face. I say, I like fruit. It is sweet and fresh. I think of the color of each fruit. I see the red of an apple. I see the yellow of a banana. I see the purple of grapes. I say, each fruit is a gift. I thank my family for this gift. I know that every small act is a chance to think in English. After my breakfast, I leave my home. I go out to catch the bus. I see people on the street. I see a man reading a book. I see a woman talking on her phone. I see children playing. I think, who are they? I know that each person has a story. I think in English about their lives. I say, people live and they love. I take a deep breath and I feel the wind. I feel that life is simple. I remind myself, I am thinking in English. I speak in my mind with clear, short words. I say, I walk. I ride the bus. I meet new faces. I learned that every step is a chance to use English. I feel the words come to me naturally. I work at a small office. I meet many colleagues. I use the 5 H words to describe my work. I think, who am I with? I am with my team. I ask, what do we do? I say, we design websites. I ask, when do we work? I say, we work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I ask, where do we work? I say, we work in a bright office in the city. I ask, why do we work? I say, we work to create beautiful designs and help our clients. I feel that my words are strong. I use each word with care. I listen to my colleagues. I learn new words. I say, I learn. I speak. I grow. My mind fills with English. I write notes in my notebook. I write, design is art. Design is work. Design is life. I know that these simple words build my world. I take a break at noon. I sit with a friend in the break room. I ask, how are you today? I hear a kind voice reply, I am good. I am happy. We chat in simple words. I say, I like the weather. It is sunny and warm. My friend nods and says, yes, the sun makes me smile. We talk about the day. I say, I think in English now. It is not hard. My friend smiles and says, keep it up. Practice makes perfect. I feel the warmth of our words. I know that every conversation adds strength to my mind. I feel the words build a bridge from my heart to the language of the world. In the afternoon, I return to work. I have meetings with my team. I stand in front of a group. I speak slowly. I say, I am a web designer. I create websites. I work with a great team. I use simple sentences. I speak with clear words. I say, we meet at 2 p.m. We meet in the big conference room. We discuss images and videos for our new project. I see nods and smiles. I see that my team understands me. I feel confident. I know that my brain is working in English. I use phrases like, at around 2 p.m. to show that I speak with care. I say, I know that details matter. I know that every word counts. I speak with short words. I feel like my mind is free. I feel my thoughts come out fast and clear. I say, I think in English. I speak in English. I feel that my dream is near. After work, I leave the office. I go home by bus. I see the sky turning orange. I see the trees sway gently. I say to myself, the day is ending. I have worked hard. I think of my family. I think of my routine. I think of my progress. I remember that I began this journey with a simple idea, to let English be my natural voice. I say, I have learned to think in English. I have learned to live in English. I feel a small joy in my heart. I feel the joy of progress. I feel that each day builds a new layer in my mind. At home, I spend time with my family. I have dinner with them. We sit at the table. I speak in simple words. I say, I had a good day. I worked and I learned. I met new ideas. My family listens. They smile and ask, what did you do today? I answer, I designed websites. I met my team. I spoke in English. I feel the warmth of their words. I feel that my voice matters. I say, I think in English every day. It makes me strong. I see my child look at me with wide eyes. I know that I set an example. I know that my family learns from my habit. After dinner, I spend some quiet time. I sit with my diary. I write in simple words. I write, today I woke up in English. Today I spoke in English. Today I dreamed in English. I write slowly. I write clearly. I write one short sentence after another. I say, I love English. I love my progress. I see my words fill the page. I feel that my mind is growing. I feel that every word is a step toward my dream. I write, I will practice tomorrow. I will be brave. I will speak and think in English. I feel satisfied. I close my diary and I smile. I know that my brain is learning every day. Before I sleep, I set a timer in my head. I take 5 minutes to describe the world around me. I look at the ceiling. I see the soft light. I hear the quiet hum of the night. I say, I see the stars. I feel the calm. I think in English. I tell myself, this is my time. This is my chance to grow. I let my thoughts wander. I say, the night is calm. The moon is bright. I am at peace. I feel my heart relax. I let the words flow in my mind. I know that this practice makes my brain stronger. I sleep with a clear mind. I sleep with dreams in English. I remember a time when I was not so confident. I was a student in a foreign land. I traveled to an English-speaking country. I stayed with a kind host family. In the morning, I woke with a mix of excitement and fear. I sat at the breakfast table with my host family. I felt my heart beat fast. My mind was still full of my native tongue. I tried to answer their questions in my language. I felt embarrassed. I wished I could speak in English from the start. That day was hard. I struggled. I felt that I was slow. But by the evening, I had talked with them all day. I listened to their words. I tried to speak in English. And by bedtime, I began to think in English. I dreamed in English. When I woke up the next day, I realized that my brain had changed. I was no longer trapped in translation. I was free. That was a turning point. I knew that I could learn to let English fill my mind. I set rules for myself. I decided that from then on, I would do all my fun and my work in English. I changed the language on my phone. I began to read books in English. I watched movies in English. I listened to music in English. I took every opportunity to let English become a part of my life. I learned that immersion was the key. I learned that consistency was the key. I learned that every small act mattered. I recall the simple rules I made for myself. First, I traveled to an English-speaking country as often as I could. This helped me break the habit of translation. I lived with locals and spoke with them every day. I felt that the more I listened, the faster I learned. I remembered that my mind was like a sponge. It absorbed every word and phrase. I practiced by watching short videos. I listened to podcasts that lasted only 6 minutes. I paused the video and wrote down words that came to my mind. I did not let my native language steal the words. I looked up meanings in English. I built a connection between the word and the idea in English. I learned that every new word was a brick in the wall of fluency. Second, I filled my world with English. I bought books and magazines in English. I changed my phone and computer to English. I began to use social media in English. I followed English news. I listened to English music and learned the lyrics. I even wrote my shopping list in English. I told myself, every word counts. I saw that when I consumed information in English, my mind began to think in English. I learned that fun activities like watching a movie or playing a game became more valuable when done in English. I discovered that even a simple game could be a lesson if I listened to the words carefully. Third, I made it a rule to learn new concepts directly in English. I did not try to translate ideas from my native language. When I learned about photography or cooking, I looked up the words in English. I asked questions like, "What does this word mean in English?" I used dictionaries that gave definitions in English only. I memorized phrases by associating them with images and actions. I saw that my mind was free when I learned directly in English. I felt that each new concept made my brain a little more fluent. I built a bridge between the idea and the language without the heavy load of translation. Fourth, I practiced daily. I set aside time for English every day. I did not wait for a long study session. I practiced for 5 minutes here and 10 minutes there. I practiced while on the bus, while waiting in line, and while walking. I described the world around me. I said, "I see a tall tree. I hear a bird. I feel the cool breeze." I let these simple sentences run in my mind. I discovered that by doing this every day, my brain became more agile. I noticed that my thoughts no longer had gaps. I no longer had long pauses. I spoke naturally, with the words ready on my tongue. I built a habit that was as natural as breathing. I learned that consistency, like exercise, made my mind stronger and more resilient. I recall another simple exercise. I would listen to a short podcast. I spent 1 minute listing words that I already knew about the topic. I wrote them down without thinking of my native language. I said, "I know these words in English." I then listened to the podcast with my full attention. After listening, I drew a simple map of ideas. I wrote the main ideas in short, simple sentences. I connected the words and the ideas. I spoke with my study partner about what I had heard. We discussed the topic in simple words. I saw that this exercise made my brain work. I felt that my listening and speaking improved with each practice session. I learned that active thinking was more powerful than passive listening. I let the words sink into my mind and then used them to build my story. Sometimes I used a video as my source of learning. I watched a video about fast fashion. I turned off the sound at first. I watched the images, and I wrote down what I saw in English. I said, "I see a dress. I see a factory. I see workers." I then watched the video with sound. I listened to the words. I checked the words that I had missed. I repeated the exercise. I learned that the more I repeated, the more natural it became to retrieve the words. I learned that my brain began to associate the images directly with the English words. I felt that my mental connections were growing stronger each day. I also made it a habit to speak with native speakers. I joined conversation clubs and I spoke with friends in English. I would set a timer for a few minutes and describe what I saw around me. I said, "I am on a walk. I see a busy street. I hear cars and people." I would talk about my day with a friend. I asked, "What did you do today?" I listened carefully to their answer. I replied with my own story. I learned that real conversation forced me to think quickly. I learned that the more I practiced speaking, the more fluent I became. I felt that my pauses became shorter. I felt that my mind was more agile. I learned that the challenge of speaking in real time was a reward in itself. I felt that my heart beat with pride each time I spoke without fear. I made a challenge for myself. I set a goal to write my diary entirely in English every day. I recorded my thoughts. I wrote, "Today I learned new words. Today I spoke with a friend. Today I practiced by watching a video." I kept my sentences short and clear. I did not try to be fancy. I did not worry about perfect grammar. I cared only that I thought in English. I saw my diary fill up with simple truths. I read it later, and I smiled. I saw the progress in every short sentence. I felt the pride of a mind that was learning to be free. I remember that some days were hard. I would feel tired. I would feel that my brain was not fast enough. I would pause, and then I would remember every pause is a chance to learn. I reminded myself, I will not fear silence. I will not fear mistakes. I said, every moment is a lesson. I took a deep breath and I continued. I spoke slowly. I wrote slowly. I let the words come to me naturally. I learned that the journey was long, but every step was worth it. I felt that every simple sentence, every clear thought was a brick in the foundation of fluency. My journey to think in English is like a long walk. I walk step by step. I look at each step with care. I see that my path is long. I see that every step builds my strength. I know that I must keep walking. I say, I will not stop. I will keep going. I enjoy every moment of the walk. I see the sun rise and set. I feel the cool breeze. I listen to the quiet sounds of the night. I see that my world is full of simple beauty. I use these moments to speak in English. I say, I see the world in English. I feel the world in English. I know that every observation is a chance to build my fluency. I feel that my mind is becoming like a sponge that soaks up the language. I also use my leisure time to practice. I listen to songs in English. I learn the lyrics. I sing softly in my room. I let the melody carry my words. I do not worry if I do not understand every word at first. I look up words in my dictionary. I ask, what does this word mean? I learn the meaning in English. I repeat the words. I let the song become part of my mind. I find that music is a powerful teacher. I feel the rhythm of the language. I know that every note is a word waiting to be spoken. I feel that my voice becomes stronger with each song. I see that my journey is filled with melody and words. I watch movies in English too. I choose movies with simple dialogues. I listen carefully to how the actors speak. I pause the movie when a new word comes up. I write it down. I say, this word means. I learn through repetition. I see that my understanding grows with every movie. I repeat phrases. I mimic the actors. I let their words become my own. I feel that the film is a window into a new world. I see that every scene is a chance to learn. I know that the more I watch, the more natural my speaking becomes. I see that the art of cinema is a teacher of language. I use every tool I can find. I switch my phone to English. I change the language of my computer. I set my calendar in English. I mark my appointments in simple words. I see that every notification, every alert, every message becomes a lesson. I read the news in English. I follow English blogs and social media. I know that my world becomes richer when it is full of English words. I feel that the everyday is filled with opportunity. I say, I live in English. I breathe English. I see that my world is transformed with every change. I take time to reflect on my progress. At the end of each day, I sit with my diary. I write, "Today I thought in English. Today I spoke in English. Today I learned a little more." I write in simple sentences. I do not worry about extra words. I know that each sentence is a building block. I see my diary as a map of my journey. I look back and I see the steps I have taken. I see the simple words that have built my confidence. I see the evolution of my thoughts. I know that every day is a victory. I feel proud of each moment of progress. I feel grateful for the journey that transforms my brain. I know that thinking in English is a long road. I see that there are many paths. I try many exercises. I take time to sit and simply describe my surroundings. I say, I see a blue sky. I hear a gentle wind. I feel the soft ground under my feet. I let these words fill my mind. I practice for 5 minutes every time I have a break. I know that this simple exercise makes a big difference. I learned that when I practice every day, my mind becomes accustomed to the language. I see that repetition is the key. I feel that every moment is a chance to build strength. I build strength in my mind just as I build muscle in my body. I also talk with my friends. I join small conversation groups. I speak in simple words. I say, "Hello, how are you?" I listen to their stories. I answer in clear sentences. I say, "I had a good day. I worked and I learned. I practiced speaking in English." I see that conversation is the best exercise. I feel that the more I talk, the easier it becomes. I feel that my pauses shorten. I see that my ideas come faster. I learn that conversation is a living practice. I build my fluency with every word exchanged. I feel that my heart grows stronger with every conversation. I recall that there was a time when my mind was slow. I was afraid of mistakes. I hesitated to speak. I felt trapped in a cycle of translation. I would think in my native language first, then I would try to convert my thoughts to English. That was hard. It made me slow and unsure. I remember that day clearly. I sat in a room full of people. I felt the eyes on me. I tried to speak. I paused too long. I could not find the words. I felt embarrassed. I felt weak. But I learned from that day. I learned that every pause is a lesson. I learned that every mistake is a chance to improve. I learned that fear is only a part of the journey. I chose to let go of my fear. I chose to speak. I chose to think in English. I chose to be brave. I set small challenges for myself. One day, I decided that I would describe my entire day in English. I wrote, I woke up. I brushed my teeth. I ate breakfast. I took the bus. I worked with my team. I had a lunch break. I spoke with my friend. I returned home. I had dinner with my family. I wrote in my diary. I took a walk. I listened to music. I watched a movie. I went to sleep. I did not worry about extra details. I kept my words short and clear. I felt that this exercise was a map of my progress. I saw that every day was a chance to build my fluency. I learned that when I described my day, my mind learned to connect ideas in English. I felt that my thoughts became smoother and more natural. I felt that every challenge was a victory over the old habit of translation. I also try to expand my vocabulary. When I see a new word, I do not rush to translate it. I let it sit with me. I say, "This word is new. I will learn it in English." I look up its meaning in an English dictionary. I see the word used in a sentence. I write the sentence in my diary. I then use the word in my own sentence. I say, "I learned a new word today. It is impressive." I say, "My progress is impressive." I see that each new word is a tool in my toolbox. I build my sentences with these tools. I learn that every word, no matter how simple, is important. I feel that my vocabulary grows with every practice. I learn that when my words are clear, my mind is clear. I remember that learning to think in English is like building a bridge. Each word is a plank on that bridge. I must place each plank carefully. I must not rush. I must build a sturdy path. I practice every day. I check each word. I listen to how native speakers say the words. I repeat them until they feel natural. I record my voice. I listen to my recordings. I compare my speech to the native speakers. I feel that each repetition is a step toward mastery. I see that my bridge grows stronger with every practice session. I know that someday I will cross that bridge easily and naturally. I sometimes set a timer for a short speaking session. I say, "For the next 5 minutes, I will speak only in English." I look around me. I describe the room. I say, "I see a chair. I see a table. I see a window. I see a clock." I continue. I feel the air. I hear the quiet hum of the city. I see the soft light of the evening. I let my voice fill the space. I let my words flow without stopping. I know that these short sessions build my strength. I feel that my mind becomes agile with each 5-minute exercise. I learn that even a small amount of daily practice makes a big difference over time. I find that every tool I use to practice adds a new layer to my learning. I use my phone to set reminders in English. I use my computer to read articles. I use the internet to watch educational videos. I join online groups where people share their progress. I see that every notification, every message, and every piece of content becomes part of my language world. I feel that my life is now filled with English. I see that the more I immerse myself, the faster I learn. I say, "I live in English. I breathe English. I think in English." I also join conversation clubs online. I meet with people who share the same dream. We speak in English for short sessions. We talk about our day. We share our challenges and our victories. I listen to their stories. I share my own. I say, "I am learning to think in English." It is not always easy, but I am proud of my progress. I hear words of encouragement. I feel that our group is a family of learners. We support each other. We celebrate every small win. I feel that our conversations are a safe place where mistakes are accepted and every effort is cherished. I learned that speaking with others is the best way to overcome fear. I have also learned that thinking in English is not about perfection. It is about expression. I do not need to have every word perfect. I know that every sentence I form is a step toward my goal. I learn that my journey is filled with ups and downs. I face moments of doubt. I face moments when my mind feels slow, but I remind myself, I will keep trying. I will keep speaking. I will keep thinking in English. I see that my progress is measured by my persistence. I feel that every day I grow stronger. I feel that every mistake teaches me something new. I know that each error is not a failure but a lesson. I also use creative exercises to build my fluency. I take a favorite song and I try to write down its lyrics. I listen carefully and I pause when I need to. I write the words in English. I learn new expressions and new rhythms. I sing along softly. I feel that the song becomes a part of my language. I use the melody to remember the words. I find that music is a gentle teacher that helps my mind connect with English in a playful way. I enjoy every moment of this exercise. I feel that every new word from a song is a treasure in my language chest. I sometimes choose a book to read. I pick a book that has short sentences and clear words. I read one page at a time. I pause, and I think about the meaning of each sentence. I write down new words. I form simple sentences with those words. I say, I read a book. I learn a word. I build a sentence. I feel that reading slowly builds my understanding. I see that each page adds a new brick to my language building. I feel that my mind becomes stronger and more confident with every word I read. I know that the book is my friend and my teacher. I cherish every lesson from its pages. I also enjoy watching videos that have short segments. I choose videos that are clear and focused on one topic. I watch the first minute without sound to absorb the images. I then watch with sound to listen to the words. I write down the main ideas in my notebook. I say, the video shows a factory. It shows workers. It shows a process. I let the images and the words come together in my mind. I learned that visual cues help me remember words. I know that every video is a chance to connect words with images. I see that my mind starts to link these ideas naturally. I feel that the exercise builds my language pathways. I also challenge myself with a special task. I take my daily planner and I write all my activities in English. I mark the times and I write simple sentences. I say, at 7 a.m. I wake up. At 7:30 a.m. I eat breakfast. At 8 a.m. I leave home. I use numbers and simple words to build a schedule. I see that my day is filled with clear tasks. I feel that my brain learns the structure of time in English. I know that every appointment and every reminder is a small sentence in my diary. I see that consistency in writing builds fluency. I remind myself, every day I write in English. I think in English. I live in English. I take time to review my progress. At the end of the week, I sit and read my diary. I see all the simple sentences I have written. I see that I have grown. I see that I have learned new words and built new habits. I feel a deep sense of satisfaction. I know that every day of practice adds up to something great. I say, I have done well. I will continue tomorrow. I set new goals. I plan new exercises. I feel that my journey is never ending and full of promise. I know that my journey is personal and unique. I know that every learner has a different path. I see that some days are filled with ease. I see that some days are hard. I accept that every day is a lesson. I do not compare myself with others. I only compare my progress with my past self. I say, I was slower before. I am faster now. I am growing every day. I feel proud of each step I take. I know that my brain is learning to think in English in its own time. I trust the process. I celebrate the small victories. I believe that every moment counts. I have learned many ways to train my brain. I use speaking exercises, listening exercises, writing exercises, and reading exercises. I practice every chance I get. I know that consistency is like exercise for my mind. I see that if I do not practice, my skills weaken. I understand that every day must be dedicated to growth. I set aside a few minutes here and there. I use every idle moment to practice. I remind myself that my mind is a muscle that needs regular training. I lift the weight of every new word. I run the course of every sentence. I build my strength with each conversation. I feel that every moment spent in English makes me more fluent. I embrace the fact that thinking in English is a journey without an end. I know that there is always something new to learn. I know that language is vast and ever-changing. I feel that my progress is continuous. I see that every new word, every new phrase, every new idea is a door to a new world. I feel that my mind becomes a vast library of simple yet powerful words. I know that each day brings a new lesson. I say, today I learn. Today I speak. Today I think in English. I build my world with these small sentences. I trust that my future will be bright and full of clear words. I also allow myself to be creative. I sometimes write a short story in English. I keep my sentences short. I write, once there was a girl. She loved the sun. She danced in the rain. She sang with the birds. I let the words tell a story that is simple and pure. I know that creativity is a part of learning. I feel that every story I write is a piece of my heart shared in English. I see that these stories build bridges between my thoughts and the language. I feel free when I write. I feel that my ideas come naturally when I do not worry about mistakes. I let my creativity flow in a simple, unburdened way. I see that each story is a treasure that enriches my vocabulary and my confidence. I remember that one day I sat in a quiet park. I looked at the trees and the sky. I heard the soft sound of leaves rustling. I felt the gentle warmth of the sun. I took out a small notebook and began to write in English. I said, I see tall trees. I hear soft whispers. I feel calm. I think in English. I wrote every detail with short, clear words. I described the blue sky, the green grass, and the birds flying by. I let my mind work freely. I saw that every observation was a lesson. I felt that my connection with the world grew stronger when I used English to describe it. I learned that nature is a perfect teacher of simple beauty. I thank the trees and the birds in my thoughts, all in English. I sometimes set aside an hour for deep study. I choose a topic that interests me. I read an article in English. I underline new words. I try to understand their meaning from the context. I then look up the definitions in an English dictionary. I write the definitions in simple words. I then form a sentence with each new word. I say, "The word is impressive." It means something that makes me feel proud. My work is impressive. I let the new words build bridges in my mind. I repeat the exercise with another article. I see that every new topic is an opportunity to grow. I learned that deep study is a way to build my vocabulary and my confidence. I feel that each article I read makes my mind richer. I also use technology to help me. I use language apps that are designed to build vocabulary through simple exercises. I listen to the app's audio and repeat the words. I say, "I learn this word." I say this word. I use the app every day. I see that it gives me small challenges. I enjoy the small tests. I see that the scores improve slowly. I feel that every test is a chance to celebrate my progress. I know that every tool is part of my journey. I trust that each tool helps me grow stronger in English. I remind myself that the goal is not to be perfect, but to be understood. I know that clear words and simple thoughts are enough. I say, "I speak my truth in English." I do not worry about fancy words or long sentences. I know that simplicity is power. I know that the best stories are told in simple words. I believe that my journey is not about perfection, but about progress. I learn that every word I speak is a step toward my dream. I feel that the simplicity of my language is a gift. I feel that my mind is clear and my heart is open. I trust that with each day, I become a better speaker. I trust that my brain learns to think in English more naturally. I trust the process. I often reflect on my progress. I look at the days when I hesitated. I remember the times when I paused too long. I see the difference between then and now. I feel gratitude for every moment of struggle. I know that every challenge was a teacher. I see that my mind has learned to bypass the long route of translation. I now form thoughts directly in English. I see that my world is filled with clear, bright ideas. I feel that every day is a new chapter in my story. I know that my journey to think in English is a lifelong gift. I am proud of my progress, and I know that I will continue to grow. I tell my friends about my journey. I share with them the small steps I take each day. I say, I wake up and I decide to think in English. I listen to songs, I read articles, and I write my thoughts in a diary. I see that my story inspires them. I see that many of them also want to learn. I invite them to join me in simple exercises. We set a challenge together. We speak in English for 5 minutes. We describe what we see and what we feel. We ask each other, "What did you learn today?" We share our new words and our simple sentences. I feel that our group grows stronger. I see that community and support are important. I know that every friend who practices with me is a treasure in my language journey. I also watch my progress in the mirror. I look at my eyes and I see determination. I see that every day I have a little more spark in my smile. I see that my confidence grows with every conversation. I tell myself, I am learning. I am improving. I am becoming fluent. I do not compare myself with others. I only compare my present self with my past self. I see the growth in every short sentence I form. I feel that every day is a celebration of my will to learn. I trust that my hard work will pay off. I trust that every moment of practice builds a better me. I also explore creative writing. I sometimes write a poem in simple English. I write, "Sunrise paints the sky. I wake with hope. Words flow like rivers, gentle and clear. I am a learner, brave and true. English sings in my heart, every day anew." I feel that the poem is a song from my mind. I see that creativity makes language fun. I learn that even simple rhymes can help me remember words. I know that every creative piece is a step forward. I share my poem with friends. They smile and say, "Your words are beautiful." I feel that my heart grows with every compliment. I see that creativity is a way to make my brain think in English with joy. I set aside moments of quiet reflection. I turn off all distractions. I sit with a cup of tea. I look outside the window at the night sky. I think about my day. I say, "Today I learned. Today I spoke. Today I dreamed in English." I let my thoughts be free and simple. I know that silence is powerful. I know that when my mind is quiet, it can absorb new words and ideas more clearly. I feel that these moments of quiet are a gift. I treasure every second of silence. I know that silence is not empty. It is filled with the potential for new words. I feel that in the quiet, my mind finds strength. I believe that my journey to think in English is like a garden. I plant seeds of words every day. I water them with practice. I let them grow with patience and care. I see that every word blooms into a clear idea. I feel that my mind becomes a field of vibrant expressions. I know that some seeds grow slowly, but each one is important. I cherish every new word that blossoms in my mind. I see that the garden of my thoughts is diverse and full of life. I know that every day I tend to this garden. I speak, I write, I listen, and I learn. I nurture my language with love and effort. I often remember the early days when my thoughts were tangled. I remember the long pauses and the fear of speaking. I recall the moments when I would start a sentence and then stop. I see that those moments are behind me now. I have learned that practice makes the mind nimble. I have learned that every short sentence builds confidence. I see that my brain now works in English without heavy translation. I feel that my progress is steady and true. I remind myself that every day is a new chance to improve. I say, I am growing. I am learning. I am thinking in English. I feel that my journey is not measured by perfect sentences, but by the courage to try. I also use a special method when I feel stuck. I set a timer for a short period. I look around me and I describe everything I see. I say, I see a window. I see a chair. I see a table. I speak slowly and with care. I let my mind choose the words without thinking of translation. I feel that this exercise loosens the grip of my native language. I feel that every moment I spend in this way makes my brain more agile. I know that even a few minutes of focused speaking can change my entire day. I trust that every small effort adds up to a big change. I remind myself, keep going. You are doing well. I feel that these small challenges make my journey exciting. I also take the time to celebrate my milestones. When I think in English without a pause, I smile. When I speak a sentence perfectly, I cheer. I keep a journal of my small victories. I write, today I spoke in English all day. Today I dreamed in English. Today I did not translate even once. I read my journal and I see the progress in black and white. I feel that every word is a step forward. I know that my journey is filled with both struggles and successes. I learn to appreciate every moment. I know that even on hard days, there is progress. I trust that each day makes me better. I feel that my heart is light and my mind is free. I remind myself that learning to think in English is a choice. It is a choice to live fully in the language. I choose every morning to let English guide my thoughts. I choose to see the world in English. I choose to speak simple words that carry deep meaning. I know that this choice is mine and that I control my own progress. I feel that every decision I make adds to my strength. I say, I am the master of my mind. I am the builder of my future. I trust that with every word, I build a brighter tomorrow. I remember that my journey is not only for me, but for those who look up to me. I have friends, family, and fellow learners who see my progress. I share my story with them. I tell them about the small exercises I do. I show them my diary and my list of new words. I invite them to join me in speaking challenges. I say, let us speak together. Let us learn together. Let us think in English together. I feel that my journey is a shared journey. I know that when many minds come together, the strength grows. I see that community is the heart of language learning. I feel that every conversation with a friend builds not only my fluency, but also our bonds. I also use every day as an opportunity to reflect on the beauty of English. I take a moment to listen to a simple poem, a short story, or a clear news report. I let the words sink into my mind. I feel that English is not just a language, but a way to see the world. I see that every word carries a weight of history and emotion. I appreciate the art in every sentence. I say, English is my friend. English is my guide. English is my world. I feel that the more I open my mind, the more I understand that language is a living, breathing part of life. I know that every new experience in English enriches my soul. I continue to build my skills with every passing day. I use each moment wisely. I see that my brain is gradually shifting. I feel that I am no longer bound by the need to translate every word. I think directly in English. I speak with ease. I write with clarity. I feel that my thoughts are free and clear. I know that this journey is long and sometimes hard, but I trust that every small effort counts. I remind myself, slow progress is still progress. Each small step builds a staircase to fluency. I hold this truth in my heart. I trust that every day, with every word, I grow stronger. I use simple tools like sticky notes to label items in my home. I write the English word for each object. I see the note on the door, on the table, on the chair. I repeat the word in my head: door, table, chair. I let these words become a part of my everyday life. I see that each label is a gentle reminder to think in English. I learned that the more I see the words, the more my mind absorbs them. I feel that my environment is a classroom. I trust that every small sign is a teacher. I know that my home is full of learning opportunities. I see that even the simplest things have their English names. I say, I am surrounded by English. I feel that my world is an open book of words waiting to be read. I also take time to review old notes. I open my diary and I read my past entries. I see the early attempts and the later improvements. I feel a surge of pride. I know that my hard work has paid off. I see that my sentences are clearer now. I see that my words are more confident. I say, I have come so far. I will go even further. I let this reflection fill me with hope. I understand that every moment of struggle was a seed planted in my mind. I know that now those seeds have grown into a garden of English thoughts. I feel that my past is a treasure that shows my growth. I see that each day, no matter how small, has added to my strength. I also set goals for the future. I write in my diary, tomorrow I will try to speak without hesitation. Tomorrow I will use 5 new words in conversation. Tomorrow I will listen to a podcast and write a summary. I see these goals as stepping stones. I know that each goal is achievable. I trust that with every day I will meet my targets. I feel that my journey is guided by clear intentions. I say, I have a plan, I have a purpose, I will succeed. I build my confidence one goal at a time. I see that success is not measured by perfection, but by the courage to keep trying. I know that every small goal met is a victory for my brain. I remind myself that my journey is unique. I do not compare my path with others. I know that each learner has a different pace. I focus on my own progress. I see that every word I speak is mine. I celebrate my individuality. I say, I am unique. My journey is my own. I think in English in my own way. I feel that my voice is special. I trust that my simple words are enough to express my truth. I know that authenticity is the key to real communication. I feel that when I speak from my heart, my English flows naturally. I build my language with honesty and simplicity. I also allow myself moments of rest. I know that my mind needs to recharge. I take short breaks to meditate and relax. I sit in silence and let my thoughts wander. I do not force words. I simply enjoy the peace. I say, I rest. I breathe. I am calm. I know that rest is part of the journey. I feel that when I rest, my mind is ready for new words. I trust that balance is important. I balance practice with quiet reflection. I feel that this balance makes my progress sustainable. I know that every part of my day, whether filled with words or silence, builds my fluency. I let each night be a time of gratitude. I thank the day for its lessons. I say, "Thank you, day, for teaching me new words. Thank you, day, for giving me moments of joy." I let my heart be full of gratitude for every simple experience. I know that gratitude makes the mind open. I trust that when I am thankful, I remember to speak in English. I feel that every thankful word is a spark that lights my journey. I go to sleep with a peaceful mind. I dream in simple, clear English. I know that my dreams carry the language into my heart. My journey to think in English is long and beautiful. I know that each day is a gift. I see that every small step matters. I feel that every simple sentence builds my future. I trust that my consistent practice will bring me closer to fluency. I see that every challenge is an opportunity. I know that I am growing with every word. I remind myself, I think in English, I speak in English, I live in English. I feel that my brain is becoming strong and free. I know that my journey is filled with love, courage, and hope. I now look back at my day. I see the moments of clarity. I see the simple words that flowed. I feel the power of my progress. I know that my brain is learning to speak in English. I see that every sentence is a brick in the wall of my new life. I remember the early challenges and the triumphs. I see that my progress is steady and true. I trust that tomorrow will be another day of growth. I say to myself, I will wake up and I will think in English again. I feel ready for the new day. I know that my journey continues with every sunrise and every smile. I close my eyes and I feel a deep sense of peace. I feel that I have given my best. I feel that every moment of practice has built a part of me. I know that my journey is not finished. I know that there is always more to learn. I trust that each day will bring new words and new ideas. I see that my brain now dances with English. I feel that the simple sentences I form are my music. I know that my heart sings in the language of my dreams. I rest with the hope that every tomorrow will be brighter, every word clearer, and every thought naturally in English. I end my day with gratitude and a promise. I promise myself that I will keep learning. I promise that I will speak, write, and think in English every day. I promise that I will face every challenge with a brave heart and a clear mind. I promise that I will not stop until my brain sings in English without pause. I feel that this promise is the light that guides me. I know that the journey may be long, but every step is worth the effort. I trust that with persistence, my thoughts will become fluent, and my words will flow like a gentle stream. I fall asleep with a smile, knowing that I have built another day in the garden of English. I feel that my mind is a home for clear, simple, and honest words. I know that every simple sentence is a victory. I trust that my journey is marked by progress, not perfection. I close my eyes and I dream in English. I dream of a future where my thoughts are free and my words are unbound. I know that my brain is learning to think in English with every sunrise and every quiet moment of reflection. I wake up tomorrow with the same promise. I wake up with a clear mind and a hopeful heart. I know that I will rise and speak in English again. I know that every new day is a fresh start. I know that the simple sentences I form will build a life of fluency. I feel that my journey is a series of small steps, each one leading me closer to my goal. I trust that every word I speak is a testament to my effort and my passion. I know that I am on the path to thinking in English naturally and freely. My story is one of patience and persistence. It is a story of simple words and clear ideas. It is a story of a journey that starts with a single sentence and grows into a life filled with English. I see that every time I speak, every time I write, every time I listen, I am building a new habit. I know that my brain is changing. I know that my life is filled with new opportunities because I have chosen to think in English. I see that my journey is a long road, but every step is filled with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. I remind myself that my journey is a work in progress. I know that some days will be easier and some days will be harder. I understand that every challenge is a chance to learn. I embrace each mistake as a lesson. I celebrate every small success. I hold on to the truth that consistency is the key to building fluency. I know that when I look back, I will see the beauty of my progress in every simple sentence, every clear thought, and every brave conversation. I believe that anyone can learn to think in English. I believe that the path is open for those who choose to practice every day. I believe that every learner has the power to transform their mind. I believe that simple, clear words are enough to build a bridge to fluency. I know that by following the small steps, by using the 5 WH words, by immersing myself in English, I have unlocked a new way of living. I have learned to see the world through the lens of English, and my mind is richer for it. I know that my journey will continue as long as I choose to practice. I know that every day offers a new lesson. I see that every morning is a chance to start again. I feel that every moment is an opportunity to let English fill my thoughts. I trust that my brain will grow stronger and faster with each practice. I know that the simple habit of thinking in English will lead me to fluency. I hold on to the hope that one day I will not even think of translation, but only feel the natural flow of English in my mind. I promise myself that I will keep this practice alive. I promise that I will set aside time each day to speak, write, and think in English. I promise that I will be patient and kind to myself. I promise that I will celebrate every small victory and learn from every mistake. I trust that this commitment will lead me to a future where my brain works in English as naturally as the beating of my heart. I know that with every sunrise, I will build a little more confidence. I know that with every conversation, I will grow a little stronger. I know that with every word, my mind will become a clearer, more vibrant part of who I am. I now see that my journey is complete for today. I have filled my day with English. I have let my mind work in simple words and clear ideas. I have embraced every moment as a lesson and every conversation as a chance to grow. I feel the power of consistency, the joy of creativity, and the strength of community in every sentence I form. I know that tomorrow is another day to practice, another day to speak, and another day to think in English. I rest with the knowledge that my brain is learning. I rest with the promise that every small effort builds a better future. I rest with a clear mind and a grateful heart. I dream in English. I sleep with simple, clear thoughts. I know that my journey continues, and each day I take another step toward fluency. I believe in my ability to think in English, to speak in English, and to live in English. I trust that my journey is my own, and it is filled with the beauty of simple, powerful words. Today, I have built a foundation. Tomorrow, I will build a wall. In time, I will build a castle of English thoughts that stand strong and clear. I know that every word I learn is a brick in that castle. I see that every simple sentence is a step toward a future where my mind is free. I feel that my language is no longer a challenge, but a friend that grows with me. I know that by choosing to think in English every day, I have unlocked a treasure trove of knowledge, creativity, and confidence. I leave this day with hope and a promise. I promise to continue speaking, to continue writing, and to continue thinking in English. I promise to face every challenge with a brave heart. I promise to let each day be a new opportunity to grow and to learn. I trust that the journey is long, but each step, however small, brings me closer to my dream. I know that I am building something lasting, something that will carry me forward in life. I open my eyes to a new morning with the same simple thought. Today, I will think in English. I rise with determination and greet the day with clear words. I speak with my family and with friends. I practice in every moment and in every breath. I let my mind be a canvas for English words. I create a picture of my life filled with simple sentences and honest ideas. I know that the journey is not measured in grand speeches, but in the simple act of choosing to think in English every day. My story is not over. It is a living tale that grows with every word I speak. It is a journey of passion and perseverance. It is a testament to the power of simple, clear communication. I know that each day brings me closer to fluency. I know that every small effort matters. I know that my brain, like a sponge, absorbs every word and grows stronger with each practice. I see the beauty in every simple sentence. I trust that my journey, full of challenges and triumphs, is the true path to thinking in English. I rest with a deep sense of fulfillment. I have given my best to the day. I have let my thoughts run free in English. I have embraced the simple words that build a life of clarity and confidence. I know that my journey continues tomorrow and every day after that, with new words, new challenges, and new victories. I close my eyes with a heart full of hope, ready to wake again and let my brain speak the beautiful language of English. This is my promise. This is my journey. I will keep speaking, keep writing, and keep thinking in English. I know that every day I build a little more strength, I know that every small practice brings me closer to fluency. I see that my world is now filled with clear, simple words that carry the weight of my dreams. I am proud of my journey. I am proud to think in English. I am proud to live in English. I end my day with a smile and a quiet whisper. Good night, English. See you tomorrow. I rest, knowing that I have built another day in my language journey. I feel that every word I have spoken today is a step toward a brighter future. I believe that my journey will inspire others to choose simplicity, clarity, and passion in their language learning. I know that my brain now thinks in English, and I trust that every tomorrow will bring new words, new dreams, and new hopes. I have shared my journey with you in simple words. I have shown you how every moment, every small sentence, and every clear thought adds up to a life where my brain speaks in English. I invite you to join me in this journey. I invite you to take every chance to practice, every chance to learn, and every chance to speak in English. I know that your journey, like mine, will be filled with small victories, brave attempts, and the steady growth of your mind. Let your mind open to the beauty of simple words. Let your heart beat with the rhythm of clear thoughts. Let your brain become a home for English. Every step you take is a celebration of your strength, your courage, and your willingness to learn. I stand as a testament that thinking in English is possible. I stand as living proof that every simple sentence matters. I am proof that with persistence, patience, and passion, your brain will learn to think in English. Now, as I rest and as I dream, I hold on to the promise of tomorrow. I know that the journey is endless, that there is always more to learn, more to speak, and more to think. I feel that my mind is free, that my voice is clear, and that my words are true. I trust that every day I build a new chapter in my journey, a chapter filled with hope, determination, and simple, beautiful words in English. This is my story. This is my journey. This is how I make my brain think in English. And now I pass this promise on to you. May you also wake up each day with the decision to let English fill your mind. May you find joy in every short sentence you form. May you feel the steady growth of your brain as it learns to speak in the language of the world. And may you, like me, celebrate every simple word as a victory of the heart and the mind. I end my tale with gratitude. I thank every day for the chance to learn. I thank every word for building my future. I thank every simple sentence for lighting my way. I thank the language of English for its gentle guidance and its endless beauty. And I thank you for joining me on this long, beautiful journey of learning, growing, and thinking in English. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with the clear, bright language of hope. Tomorrow, we speak again in English, and every word will shine like a star in the vast sky of our minds. Thanks for watching.